Hello and welcome to ExpertCast, the podcast dedicated to healthcare innovation. I'm Gustavo Meirelles, Vice President and Chief Medical Officer at AFIA and founder of the Healthcare Innovation Community. It's a pleasure to have you here for another insightful episode. In each conversation, I bring together top experts from around the world to discuss groundbreaking topics that are reshaping healthcare, such as AI, telehealth, cutting-edge diagnostics, innovative treatments, and remote patient monitoring. Our goal is to keep you up to date with the latest technologies and trends in the sector. Today, we are diving into the Genolier Innovation Hub in Switzerland, where healthcare meets the future. This Swiss hub stands at the intersection of medical innovation, bringing together global leaders in medtech, pharmaceuticals, digital health, and biosciences. But what makes this initiative unique, and how is it driving the future of healthcare on a global scale? To explore these questions, I have the pleasure of welcoming two exceptional guests. Anna Gräbner, CEO of the Genolier Innovation Hub, leads this cutting-edge center for scientific and medical innovation, spanning 25,000 square meters dedicated to innovation. She spearheads a project of more than $100 million, fostering collaborations between key players in medtech, pharmacology, digital technologies, and biosciences, and positioning the hub as a global leader in clinical innovation. A graduate in management and entrepreneurship, Anna is also the co-founder of iCap, a startup that developed a connected swimming cap for visually impaired individuals. My other guest, Isabelle Magnin, supports strategic projects and operations at Genolier Innovation Hub, driving collaborations between industry, academia, and medical professionals to accelerate healthcare innovation. She's also involved in expanding Viva, an integrated care business model, ensuring strong ties with innovation. With an MBA in healthcare administration from the United States, Isabelle spent 20 years working in finance and innovation for major healthcare providers. In Switzerland, she has consulted for international organizations to advance global health initiatives. Anna and Isabelle, thank you both for joining me today. It's a pleasure to have you on ExpertCast to share your insights and experiences.
Okay, so thank you, Gustavo. It's a pleasure, and thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for being here, Anna.
Thank you, Gustavo. It's really a pleasure being on your podcast today and exchanging with you about health innovation.
Oh, thank you so much, Isabelle. I remember when I visited Genolier Innovation Hub, I was really impressed with everything I saw that day. And we had a conversation and you could introduce a little the hub. And then, we had the idea of having this podcast to spread the word, not only in Brazil, but around the world for the ExpertCast listeners. So, Anna, the first question is going to be about the Genolier Innovation Hub. And you, as the CEO of the hub, could you give us an overview of the hub's mission and how it is positioned as a global leader in healthcare innovation?
Yes, with pleasure, Gustavo. Thank you. So the hub is a medical and scientific platform of about 25,000 square meters. And as we have seen it during your visit, it is dedicated for clinical application. That means that we are not an incubator or a technopark like we have a lot here in Switzerland, especially like the EPFL or the Biopol and so on. The idea is to work hand in hand with those incubators and technoparks to offer startups that are coming out of their incubation their next step, which is clinical application. And when I say that is that we have here a whole medical technological platform here with bunkers, with reading rooms, with labs and so on, but also a medical network. And this is something which is really our added value as having here not only innovation in terms of research projects, training projects, and every kind of developments of innovations. But of course, being here with real medical treatments. So having this direct link, this direct proximity with physicians, with the medical staff, with patients, this makes the whole difference.
Thank you so much, Anna. And I would like to know now from Isabelle. Isabelle, the Genolier Innovation Hub brings together a mixture of industry, academia, and medical professionals And so, what makes this collaborative model so effective in accelerating innovation in healthcare?
We really believe strongly in the Genolier Innovation Hub that to be able to accelerate innovation, we need to do it together, collaboratively, preferably under one roof. So one of our big objectives at the Hub is to federate those contacts, to gather all the stakeholders under one roof so they can exchange live, real time, through an event or through a training program, whatever means it can be. And that's how they will exchange their ideas and accelerate innovation. For us, it's very important to be inclusive of the whole ecosystem of innovation. So that's why we bring together the partners that you've mentioned. It's not just an industry collaboration, but academia is there too. International organizations, we're getting more and more. We're expanding that network as well. So for us, it's important to be inclusive of all the partners who are interested in accelerating health innovation because we can't do it on our own.
Yes, so thank you, Isabelle. And now, well, I saw during my visit, there were many exciting technologies and many more to go at that time. So I'd like to listen from you. What are some of the most exciting medical technologies and also innovations currently being developed at the hub? And also the forecast for the future, what would be the next innovations you plan to bring to the hub in the following months or years?
Mm-hmm. So I would say the first thing to understand is our business model. That means that we can really compare it to a hotel for company. And I think this makes it very simple to understand. That means that companies, either smaller companies, startups, scale-ups that are in the fine-tuning phase, but also bigger industries that we all know, can come here as a resident of the hub. And the idea is to fine-tune, to optimize an innovation, to train or to have some research projects on those innovations in order to then leave the place again for another company that can come in. So really, it's like a hotel. If we want to be innovative, we have to be very rotative and dynamic. That's very important. And that's also why the whole flexibility of this building is our keyword, because it is very important to adapt ourselves to each company's needs and activities. So all the walls, all the surfaces inside the hub are very modular and can really adapt to each demand. And now that we know that, what is important is that we are very open to all kinds of innovation in medtech, in pharma, and digital technologies. Of course, the keyword buzzword is AI in medical systems, and of course also biosciences. So as you can see, it's very large, and that is the whole point of this hub, not to be specialized in one thing, to really be open to all kinds of demands. For now, the biggest innovations we have already is especially in the orthopedics and in the oncology domains. So this is for now something that we are very proud to show. And some innovations are really impressive. And others will come in the next months and years. Of course, a lot are not official for now. But what I can say is that we are very open to especially those innovations in the domains that are like the ones that are, it's sad to say, but killing the most people today on worldwide. So of course, in the oncology, in the cardiovascular domains, Alzheimer, Parkinson, dementia, but also in the whole, I would say, regenerative medicine, cellular therapies, and so on. So a lot, but still very exciting.
Yeah, this is awesome. And Switzerland has a long time tradition of innovation in healthcare, not only in the pharmaceutical domain, but in many others like medtech. And Isabelle has been a consultant for many different companies in Switzerland, and also she has worked in the United States with healthcare. So Isabelle, I would like to know a little bit more about translational research. The hub is also focused on that domain, bridging the gap between scientific discovery and real-world medical applications. So if you could share some examples of projects that you plan to do at the hub or you have already done at the hub, or the plans for translational research, that would also be great.
Sure. So Gustavo, we opened at the end of September of last year. So we're still very new. We're still developing new projects and collaborations. There is one that I can mention is what we're doing around radio-oncology and nuclear medicine. So radio-oncology traditionally is diagnostic therapy, and nuclear medicine is diagnostics. And we have a center of excellence with GE Healthcare where we are building theranostics. So it's the blend between therapy and diagnostics, where we're using the GE machines in nuclear medicine to be able to do some therapeutic elements of treatments of patients. But this is all being built, as we discussed, with our partner Swiss Medical Network and Clinique de Genolier, which is on site and is using the space in the hub to do so. And hopefully next time we talk, we'll be able to tell you more about it. We also have a clinical trial phase 1 unit that we are building, also in the process of building, which should be open later this year. So very much new. We are very much in startup mode still and building the infrastructure. Most of it is already there, but we are always looking for growth opportunities and new collaborations. And as we bring those strategic partners on board, they also define what it is that they need in the hub, and we do the co-development of new projects together. So there will be more coming, and for now we have these really exciting projects.
And what is important is, as we call ourselves Innovation Hub, it's so important to be innovative in every aspect. And that's why Isabelle is saying that in terms of evolution, we still have a lot of projects in the project that has to be done. But still, this is something that will never stop. This is our DNA, to always see what are the next steps, we have to anticipate every innovation that has to be implemented in here.
Yes, this is great. And I also like the idea of being like a hotel for companies. And I was really impressed when I was in Switzerland and when I visited the hub, you were in constructions, but I was really impressed to see like the auditorium and also the video cast. Well, the video cast room that you're using right now. So, if you could speak a little bit more about that 25,000 square meters of how is the hub, what are the main sections, and what you want to implement. And then Isabelle can also complement about this point.
With pleasure. So indeed, from the 25,000 square meters, we have separated in several, I would say, departments. The first one is the clinical part of the hub, where we have the real treatments of patients. And as already Isabelle mentioned, the so-called theranostic part, which is diagnostic and treatments with nuclear medicine and radio-oncology radiotherapy. And this is always something that we have considered for the patient. Being as a patient, as the whole process has to be very comfortable.
Thank you. And Isabelle, would you like to complement and to give a little bit more a scenario of the hub, the main installation, and what you want to implement?
So we have the hotel for companies section that you mentioned, where we have offices that it's all raw right now, because we want to make sure that companies are able to put their own branding and touch and feel into the offices, so they can build it as they please. So they can have the space that they want. If they want 20 square meters or 200, we can accommodate that. So that is why we kept the facilities as is, and the companies can do what they want with it, as long as we have a co-development project together. And we also have the whole event platform, where this is actually where we sit. In this studio, we're in the event platform. We have an auditorium of 300 seats, where it's highly digitized, and we are surrounded by LED panels in this auditorium that creates a full immersion. It's really amazing. Our inspiration is the Sphere in Las Vegas. So it's really neat. If you haven't experienced it, I encourage you to come and check it out for yourself. And we also have a whole congress area where we have space for up to 500 guests to come and start a booth, for instance, or a symposium with medical posters. We can have a gala dinner. There's so much that we can do in this space that Anna mentioned is highly agile and modular. And also on the bottom floor, at the reception floor, Gustavo, if you remember, there is that big reception that has a giant library of more than 8,000 books in science, medicine, the arts, and culture. And we have a co-working zone on that floor as well, because it's important for us to welcome everybody in the community. And we do have people who come on a regular basis or sporadically to come and stay in the hub and for a day or for an hour or for just to have a coffee. Anything you'd like to add, Anna?
No, I think it's clear. We have the clinical part, the event part, the resident part for our partners, and the common spaces. Exactly.
Yeah, and I remember that wonderful view today from the auditorium with the LED panels, which were being installed at the time I was visiting you. So it's really for our guests here at ExpertCast and our listeners, it's a wonderful place to visit. If you have the chance being in Switzerland, you should definitely stop at Genolier Innovation Hub. And then the next question would be about the support you get from the very strong Switzerland's healthcare and innovation ecosystem. Are there any unique advantages or challenges of being in Switzerland, specifically in Genolier?
I would say the main reason why we decided to install this whole hub here in Genolier, for those who don't know Genolier, and I'm sure most of you don't know it, it's just a little village about 15 minutes from Geneva. And I would say we have three main reasons why we decided to be here. The first one is the so-called Health Valley, to do a reference to the Silicon Valley in the United States. This whole region here around Lake Geneva is well known worldwide for its Health Valley, because we have a lot of healthcare actors having their headquarters or even their main quarters here around the lake. So being in the heart of this Health Valley is more than essential. And very interesting, of course. The second reason is the international accessibility. We're just about 15 minutes from Geneva Airport, which is an international airport. And this is, of course, something which is more than important for all our partners coming worldwide. Of course, we also have, as you mentioned, the very nice landscape. Every day it's a new surprise, because we have a beautiful view on the Geneva Lake, the Swiss Alps, the Mont Blanc, which is one of the biggest mountains in Europe. So the whole hub was built also within the auditorium to have every room with the Mont Blanc in the center of every room. So it's really a wow effect every day. But all of these reasons are not the main reason. I would say the very main reason why we decided to be here is that we are in the heart of a clinical campus. Being, as I said before, having this direct link. And when I mean link, it's just a corridor of 5 meters where you have the research, the training aspects, and then the clinical real treatments aspects. And I always say having theory is quite good and important, but being confronted with reality, this makes a whole difference.
Unfortunately, it's time to wrap up the first part of our conversation about Genolier Innovation Hub. A huge thanks to our wonderful guests, Anna and Isabelle, for sharing their expertise and perspectives on the future of healthcare innovation. Your contributions have truly enriched the discussion. But don't worry, there is much more to come. In part 2, we'll dive deeper into the exciting initiatives at the Genolier Innovation Hub and explore the future of integrated care. You won't want to miss it. Thank you again, Anna and Isabelle, for being part of today's conversation. I'll see you all in part 2. And if you'd like to explore more about Genolier Innovation Hub, don't forget to visit their website at genolierinnovation.com. The link is also provided in the comments at your favorite platform. And if you want to keep this discussion on healthcare innovation going, join the healthcare innovation community, where over 10,000 professionals are already exchanging knowledge and experiences. Sign up for free at inovaçãosaude.com and stay updated on the latest trends in the field. This web link is also provided in the comments. ExpertCast is supported by AGFA and produced by Soulpods. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow our podcast, rate us 5 stars on a favorite platform, and share it with your network. This helps us reach more people and strengthen the conversation about healthcare innovation. Thank you, and see you in the next episode.